Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's good. Amen.
Hey, Mom.
Hallelujah.
Hey,
Hold
Mom.
on, baby. I'm watching my preacher. It's about to be a commercial. Hold on.
Okay.
Amen. 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 Yes, Lord. Okay.
Mom.
Baby, how can I help you, baby? I'm watching my preacher right now.
Okay, well, I wanted to talk to you about my anxiety.
Oh,
I'm having really bad
okay, listen.
anxiety right
I hope you're
now.
not here to tell me that you use a nun that wear Burberry again, because you
A
tell me
nun
every
that
week.
wears Burberry? What are you
A
talking about?
nun that wear Burberry.
You mean
You
I'm
tell me every week use a
non-binary?
nun that wear Burberry every
No,
week.
I'm non-binary,
That's what I
Mom.
said.
No, you said a nun that
That's
wears
what I said.
Burberry. I'm
I said that's what
non-binary.
I said. A
That's not
nun,
what you said.
a
But
nun
anyway,
Burberry.
no. I'm talking about my anxiety. I feel really bad. I need to
Your
go to
anxiety,
therapy.
baby. Let me tell you something. What you need is you need a man, a strong
Huh?
man with a strong shoulder to cry on.
What is that gonna
Yeah,
do?
that's what that help you get your anxieties out.
Men cry too,
Cause you know
Mom.
men don't cry. Men should not cry. Never bring home a man that cry. Only bitches cry.
Oh
Okay,
my
so you need to
goodness.
find you a man
No.
that cry.
Mom, that's misogynistic. I have to stop you right there. This is out of
What's
hand.
what's a
Misogynistic.
mistress?
It's misogynistic.
You said
It's
a what now?
wrong. It's
What is a
misogynistic.
mistress?
A
I said you need a man. You
misogynistic.
need a man to cry on.
No,
You need
I
a
don't need a
man's
man.
strong shoulder to
I
cry on, because
need
that's what you need,
therapy.
okay? Because
I need
men
therapy.
shouldn't cry. You need somebody who can boss you around.
I
Yeah,
need a
you
I
need
need a
somebody
supportive
who can make
mom.
you suffer. I mean,
Oh my God.
submit. Yeah, excuse me, Lord.
Bye, Mom. Bye. Hey y'all, welcome back to Jazmyn Gives Bad Advice. Now, some of y'all know this, but this is my podcast turned visual here on YouTube. The podcast episodes are still up and they will be for a while, so check them out if you haven't listened to the audio version. It's a completely different experience because there's sound and everything else, there's sound mixing and production. So check them out. The link is going to be below. But yeah, welcome back to my podcast turned visual advice show here on YouTube. Now, on this show, you send me questions that you need answers to online, and I tell you what I think after I make fun of it using sketch comedy. I love this sketch. This was really funny to me, and it was really fun because I haven't put on my granny wig and done this sort of character that's very close to home to me because, it just reminds me of somebody in my family in a really long time, honey. Now, that was my interpretation of a question that came from a non-binary baddie in Florida. And as you may know, that's only how it's gonna go in my head when they talk to their mother, okay? So let's jump into today's episode and hear the actual question from Sam. Let me put my glasses on. Okay. So here's the question. Sam says, I love my mom, but she says the craziest things. She thinks the monkeypox comes from gay people and says that emotions are feminine. She even said that two androgynous people who got in a crash were letting their femininity out by crying. She also thinks I'm really emotional and I need a man whose shoulder I can cry on. Sam says, what? What if my man cries? Or what if I'm with a woman? Also, I got these earrings and I was wearing them normally, and my mom asked me if I was a boy by wearing earrings. Is she in the wrong? What should I tell her? Listen, I thought this was gonna be real fun to make fun of, and it was. Because it sounds like your mama ignorant, okay? Now, this person is between 18 and 25, so they're pretty young. Okay, Sam, here's my advice. Let's keep in mind that Sam's in Florida and Sam is between 18 and 25. So you're pretty young, okay? The first thing I want to ask is, do you have a life insurance policy on your mama? Because I don't want to suggest you push her down any stairs, but if she happens to trip, honey, I would hate for her to die and leave you nothing but misogynist anxiety. I would hate for her to die and leave you nothing but homophobic and transphobic trauma. Okay? I would hate for her to pass away okay, and leave you not even a little volume, but nothing but her very traditional, very problematic values. So make sure you got a good life insurance policy on your mama, okay? I'm not saying hit her in the head with a can of beans or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying set yourself up for success nonetheless, okay? It's giving very backwoods bush. It's giving very backwoods boonies, okay? And because I'm from Texas, I have a lot of family members who just don't have a lot of points of view that I agree with. Let's just keep it at that, okay? So I put together a list of options for you, okay? Because I don't want you to think that there's one right answer to this. Here's the most difficult thing that you can do, okay? It's gonna go from hardest to easiest. Number one, you can explain to your mom that her comments are problematic with the understanding that she's likely not gonna make an effort to change at all, and just be okay with that. You've said your piece, you know that your mom's not gonna change, and that's it. That's it. And just live with her comments that are just loud and wrong because she been watching the news. And Kenneth Copeland. Number two, you can explain to your mom that her comments are problematic and tell her that if she doesn't work on this, it will force you to create space between you two because her ideals are not great for your mental health. Now, why I say, some people might say, Jazmyn, that's a harder one than the first one, but really it's gonna be harder not to talk to your mama or create space between you guys. But number one, you're letting her know that you're gonna do that. So you're not ghosting her, you're not abandoning her. She's probably gonna call you and tell you that you are, but you're not. And then number two, it's gonna be better for your mental health. So over time, it will be a lot easier to deal with. You know what I mean? Because you won't be talking to her as much. Yeah. When you see her name pop up on your phone, you just go back to what you was doing, honey. And you just pick up once a month. Maybe you see her on Christmas and you call her on her birthday, but you don't really have to fool with her like that, you know? Number three, you can ignore her completely because you already know her and how she is. And if you ever have kids, you can rarely let them see her. That's a real easy one, honey. That's a real easy one. Just ignore her completely. And then if you choose to have kids, decide whether you want them to be in her life or vice versa, anything like that. You can then then there's some other decisions that have to be made. But that's a very easy one because you could just stop talking to her. And number four is the wild card, okay? I say you don't have to push her down any stairs. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. Why would I suggest you kill your mama? No, but you can pray that she falls down some. I'm just kidding. I know that's your mama, right? Anyway, let's listen to these sponsors and we'll be right back with gatekeeping your culture. Thank y'all so much for listening and clicking on those ads here on my YouTube video. I wanted to talk about something that kept me up the night before last, and I don't know, it's really on my spirit to talk about this. I'm the type of person, when something is bothering me, I have to talk about it, and maybe like 2 or 3 times before I'm just over it, right? So I really wanted to talk about gatekeeping your culture. I came across a Black girl's video on TikTok who said that cultures are meant to be shared and they're not meant to be gatekept, and that Black women need to get over and stop, pretty much she said, stop crying about the fact that other people, white women, like to wear box braids and things like that. The one thing I will say, it really honestly at this point in my life disturbs me because I feel like people don't want to respect specifically Black women because we are the only ones fighting for our culture, our ancestors to be respected and things like that. No shade, but I don't see a lot of Black men having this conversation online. There are some, but not a lot. But yeah, we are fighting for our culture, our history to be respected, our experiences to be respected way more than men are, especially online, right? It actually really upsets me because I feel like other groups, whether they're minority groups or people who are from ostracized communities, when they ask people to respect their culture, their closed practices, the things that they request, it's often respected. But when Black women ask for the same thing, people sort of laugh in our faces and do it anyway out of spite. So I took a few notes on this that I would just really like to share, okay? Number one, culture is to be experienced, not shared. And what I mean by this is, for example, going to Asia and experiencing like a traditional tea ceremony, or the experience of going to someone's house and having dinner, which is a very private thing in different parts of in Asia, is an experience, right? When you have the opportunity to partake in that experience, it's something that's really, really awesome. Going to Hawaii and being part of indigenous people's practices in Hawaii and also respecting their wishes if you are going to visit. They've asked us not to, but I've seen some different perspectives about things that you can do if you're actually going to visit. But partaking in the cultures there and being respectful of the indigenous people there is a privilege, right? It's meant to be experienced. Neither of those things should be experienced and then come brought back to the US and monopolized by me, somebody who's not a part of that culture. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, I'm really trying. But imagine if I went to Hawaii, right? And I came back and I created my own attire and I renamed it and I sold it to you guys as an experience and said, it's culture, it's meant to be shared. Well, it's actually not. It was a privilege to go there and experience that culture, number one. It's a privilege to experience that culture, number two, but it's not your duty to monopolize or make money off of it or rename it or rebrand it or even participate in that culture yourself. Now, why can we understand that when it comes to indigenous people or Asian cultures or cultures not in Africa, because we don't understand it when it comes to Black people, but in cultures in Europe and here in the Americas, why can we understand it? But we can't understand it when Black women just say simply do not wear box braids. Don't cornrow your hair in that pattern because that's what our ancestors used to escape slavery. Why can't we just say that without people having a problem with it and wanting to argue us down? The second thing I'll say is, and I kind of already touched on this, in no way is it ever okay to profit off of a culture that's not yours. Imagine me going to Japan and drinking matcha green tea and coming back and telling y'all it's jazz cha green tea, and I specialize in it, honey. I'm selling it to y'all. How could I do that? Why would I do that? Whenever I'm purchasing products, I love to look up where they're from and get it from the source as much as I can. If I'm gonna drink a chai, baby, do I want a chai from Starbucks? No, baby, no. I want an Asian person to make my chai, honey. When I drink a matcha, do I want to get matcha from Trader Joe's? Not particularly. No, I want the matcha that got writing on it that I can't read, okay? That's what I want. I want it from the colors. Okay, that's what I want. The last point that I want to make, because I've written it down already, is why do Black people, specifically Black women, have to argue with people over the things that are sacred to us, the things that cause us anxiety, the things that make us cry, the things that our ancestors did to survive, the things that keep our culture alive, and the things that make us feel good. Why do we have to argue with y'all about that? I am so sick of it. I don't know why it's no big deal to you, but if it's a big deal to some, it should be respected. If it's not a big deal to you, it's not a big deal to you. But if it's a big deal to some people in your community, you should say that and it should be respected. That's all I got to say. Oof. Oh my God, it makes me so mad. It really be making me mad. But anyway, thank y'all so much for listening. Okay, tune in every week for my best or worst advice. And if you have a problem that needs solving, baby, go ahead and get at me, okay? Let me know. You can submit the question in the link in the description or the link in my bio on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for watching. And this is a reminder that I can gatekeep whatever the hell I want to, okay? See y'all later. Bye.